Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to the West Coast Sports Podcast. I'm your host, Richard Frias Guzman. And on today's episode, I am going to be doing a two-part episode. I am going to be talking briefly about the Dodgers. I'm just going to kind of be doing an off-season update, if you would. It's going to be just kind of focused on some of the moves and some of the players that are no longer going to be on the Dodgers roster, and just kind of talking about that, maybe giving you a little bit of an insight as to what maybe the Dodgers might be doing over the offseason, kind of talking to you guys about some of the reports and some of the stuff that has come out from the Dodgers organization, as far as like what the what Andrew Friedman, the general manager of the Dodgers, has been talking about, as well what some of the reports from some of the other local media, people who cover the Dodgers and everything as well, have been getting from some of the other insiders of the Dodgers. So we're just going to talk about that overall. We will also be finishing off with talk about the Lakers. Unfortunately, ended up losing 122-118 against the Celtics last night. We'll talk all about the game, talk to you guys about how things happened, the ups and downs of that game, who ended up playing very well, just overall everything about the game. We'll talk about that. But just before I get into all that, I do just want to remind everybody that you can find me on Instagram, you can find me on Twitter. Also, I have an email address where you can put in as well shoot me up any kind of email or any kind of questions on there. But you can find me on Instagram and Twitter with West Coast Pod 702. Again, that's West Coast Pod 702. And then the email address, it's just the name of the podcast. So it's West Coast Sports Podcast at gmail.com. Definitely go ahead and shoot me up an email, shoot me up any kind of DM or anything like that you guys have any questions or anything like that. If you guys just want to talk sports, whatever it is, I'll be happy to go in and talk to you guys. It's always great to go in and meet new people, and get to know them. But with that being said, let's get right into the podcast here. So guys, with the Dodgers, they've been kind of busy, honestly, over the offseason. It's not necessarily busy as far as like signing new players or anything like that. I really think that they're trying to hold off on certain things and maybe waiting to see what players are possibly available in trades and stuff like that. I know most of Dodger Nation or most of the Dodger fans have been waiting to go in hear stuff about Shohei Ohtani. I'm gonna be one of the first people to kind of tell you guys. It's a definite possibility, but I wouldn't really bank on it. The Dodgers are one of the few teams that have the capability of being able to go ahead and sign them because they have that kind of a bankroll. But then, not to go ahead and say that this guy's gonna be this other, not to say that Shohei Ohtani or any other player is gonna be like this other guy, but I think the only thing that's kind of causing any sort of hesitation for the Dodgers is Trevor Bauer. If you guys don't remember who this guy is, Trevor Bauer was signed over the offseason of 2021 going into 2022. This guy was supposed to be, if you looked at the Dodgers starting rotation, you had 5-6 legit starters, and Trevor Bauer was one of them. And man, this dude was on one. He was really, really doing a great job when it came down to, being able to go ahead, being able to strike out guys. He was, he was the type of guy that people really liked. Dodger fans were really liking him too because he had a certain swagger about himself and everything. He was a really good guy, or a really good pitcher at least. I'm not a good guy, but he shortly right after that got into a lot of trouble, just like how he's done in almost every other place that he's played in. And the dude now is in some serious trouble. He has been out of the league. And now he's fighting all kinds of legal issues and everything and all that. And that's all I'm going to really say about that. I really don't wish bad upon anybody, but if it is true, the things that have been, allegated about him, about, all this sexual, I don't even know how to call it. I don't even know if it was an assault or something like that or what it was, but something happened. Maybe it wasn't consensual or whatever the case was, or maybe things were not 100% clear to this woman, and but whatever the case was, if this dude is guilty, he deserves whatever he's gonna get, and more probably. But regardless of the fact, that's all I'm gonna say. I just think that that's one of the only reasons why the Dodgers have some sort of hesitation, or why they're maybe, not jumping at the fact of stuff like this. But then again, as well, they're not going to go openly out and saying, yeah, we're going to go ahead and try to trade for Shohei Ohtani. No, I don't think so. It's just like poker. You don't want to go ahead and show your hand or anything like that to any of the other owners around the league. So that's one of the good things that Andrew Friedman and the Dodgers organization is doing. They don't want to go ahead and show what they're trying to do or anything like that. There is a lot of talks that maybe the Dodgers were rumored to go ahead and be going after Xander Bogaerts. I don't believe he's actually one of the available free agents anymore. The one guy who is still available, with Trey Turner leaving over to the Phillies, dude got a fat old contract with them. I was not really expecting the Dodgers to go ahead and offer anything near that. I was thinking it was going to be a lot closer to, the 200, or like low 200,000s or 200 million. Yeah, dude got like 300 or something, or and he's absolutely ridiculous of a contract that he ended up getting. But dude's getting paid something like how Freddie Freeman, Mookie Betts, Aaron Judge, like how these guys are getting paid. The Phillies have the money in order to go to do so. They're starting to stack up a pretty nice team out there. My honest opinion when it comes down to Trey Turner, I am gonna be sad to go and see him go, because I do think he was a really good player. He was a five threat. He dude had all five things. A 5-tool player, if you would. He was able to go and hit for average with power. He was a great fielder, great base runner, everything. Dude was good. You wanted to keep a guy like that, but when it came down to it in the playoffs, or once it got closer to the playoffs, it seemed like the dude really always, kind of, I don't know, he just doesn't perform. He doesn't step up to the plate, if you would, with pun totally being attended, but anyways, the main thing when it comes down to it, though, Dodgers were just not willing to go, didn't even come close to that kind of money, I believe. From my understanding, there is another player out, like Dansby Swanson from the Braves, who's available. They have not been able to go and sign him. I'm not sure why. I really think that would be a great pickup for us if it's not going to be the Carlos Correa signing. I really would go with either one of them, in my honest opinion. Both of them are really great, solid players. I know a lot of people that are Dodger fans are not going to want to hear that, but I do think that he would be a great addition to the Dodgers. Regardless of the fact of whatever happened and everything, it is what it is. He was part of the team, and yeah, that's it. If he becomes a Dodger and he ends up performing great, ends up becoming one of the great Dodgers shortstops that we've had, and ends up becoming a long-time Dodger, I'm pretty sure other Dodger fans will eventually come around, right? Maybe not. Maybe I'm, assuming too much, but regardless of the fact, though, we'll see what happens when it comes down to all that. There's been a lot of talks again about the Shohei Ohtani trade. Not to go in and mention that, but it would be great to go in and have him. We'll just have to go in and see what happens. Overall, I don't believe trades are gonna be opening up anytime soon, but we'll see. The Dodgers have, though, signed Clayton Kershaw to another 1-year deal, so we have another year of Clayton Kershaw. Definitely makes me happy, because that is the jersey that I have. We always want to make sure that, especially players like Kershaw, who are such legendary players, who are such great players for the Dodgers, we want to keep them around as long as they're willing to be around, in my honest opinion. But it is what it is when it comes down to it. Some people may think like, hey, we need to move away from this guy already, or whatever, but it's Kershaw. I don't know. To me, Kershaw is going to be one of those pitchers like a Koufax or something. He does have the World Series ring, or World Series championship now, so he does have some other comparisons to some of the others. You would want to maybe see that he gets another one, hopefully, but we'll see what happens when it comes down to all that. Unfortunately, there has been some other players like Tyler Anderson. He moved as well. I believe he actually went to what was it? I believe it was the Braves, if I'm not mistaken. But he moved away as well, so we'll have to go and see what happens with all that. Overall, it is going to be exciting to go in and see what happens with the Dodgers off season. They have a lot of young guys that they can call up from the minor leagues and everything have been showing great. They've been showing that they have what it takes in order to be in the major leagues. And you had a lot of that happen in the prior years, where you have a lot of guys on the Dodgers roster, on the major league roster. Then you have a lot of guys on your AAA team where they can actually go in and provide a lot of great things for your major league team. But again, we'll just have to go in and see what happens. They had to move away from a lot of those guys over the past years and trade them to other teams, and they've been actually doing really great. We'll have to just see again what happens. I'm just excited to see what's going to happen with the team and what kind of team we're going to be looking at next season. But it is crucial that they solidify that outfield. You can't have it. It's not going to be Bellinger anymore. I kind of forgot to even mention that, but Bellinger is even moved away from the Dodgers as well. We'll see exactly how he does and everything. We'll wish him all the best of luck and everything. I was really a big fan of Cody. I know a lot of women. I know a lot of fans are going to be kind of sad to see him go, especially dude who ended up winning an MVP. He was part of that World Series team as well. It is just it is what it is when it comes down to that. It's just sports. Players move around, and I really do think that is going to be one of the big things that's going to happen moving forward. Baseball, or Major League Baseball, is going to be turning into a lot like how the NBA is, following their kind of direction, where the players are trying to take a lot more control of themselves or their lives, in the sense of these big old contracts, and they're trying to just kind of, in a way, chase the money, and it is what it is. You can't be mad at that. You want these guys to make however amount of money they can, and while they can, and just to take full advantage of their talents, but it is one of the things about pro sports that you have to go and consider, or that you have to think about. Players have certain morals. They want money, or whatever the case is. But again, it is what it is when it comes down to all that. Speaking of basketball that I mentioned briefly there, I am going to transition here shortly just into the Lakers and the Celtics. I did just want to take a quick minute to go ahead and remind everybody to go ahead and follow a certain page. If I haven't told you guys about it yet, definitely go ahead and pay attention. Just kidding, but it is Rosie's Designs EST 2022. Yes, that is my wife's page. If you have any questions about it, definitely go ahead and shoot her up a DM. But the page is where you can kind of tell once you go in and take a look at it. But my wife, she makes these amazing chip bags where she keeps the original chip, chips in the bag and everything and all that. But she makes this outer shell, if you would, or this outer bag where it protects the bag and everything overall. But it provides a really cool memory because she customizes it with any kind of custom background, or maybe some custom lettering or something like that, saying happy birthday, or if it's baptism or something like that, or maybe a quinceañera, or if you're doing something for the holidays, whatever the case is, she'll be able to go in and kind of customize the bag a little bit there for you guys, and make it a really nice memory. And a really cool thing, in order for the kids to go and pick up, they'll be interested into what's this design, or whatever the case is, on this bag, and then they get really interested in it. She makes really cool little details and everything in the bags as well, but definitely go and check it out. Again, if I haven't told you guys, it's Rosie's Designs EST 2022. Definitely go and check it out. I'll be most likely posting I'll be mentioning her in my Instagram page, and then as well on my YouTube page. I'll also include a little screenshot of her Instagram page on there as well. So with that being said, guys, I do just want to go ahead and go right into the Lakers, as I kind of took a little bit longer on the Dodgers, but just to go to talk about the Lakers and the Celtics here. Unfortunately, they did end up losing 122 to 118. What can I say, guys? What can I say? I sometimes honestly feel like I'm cursed or something, guys, because I started watching the game. They went down quick. They were down 5-15 or something like that in the first few minutes. it wasn't good. I started thinking like, hey, maybe if I start doing something or whatever, maybe things will change. So I started periodically just kind of doing other things. Had to get ready for the rest of the day. Did a little bit of laundry, did a little bit of cooking, or ate dinner and stuff like that. And periodically, I would kind of check on the game here and there, and I started noticing, oh, okay, well, second half, okay, they didn't end the second half all that great. Third quarter came around, and the second half came around. They started picking it up, and they started kind of building, or said they started getting closer and closer to tying up the game. Next thing you know, they have a lead. I'm like, oh God, all right, let me go and start watching the game. Guess what the hell happened, guys? Like, I started really paying attention to the game, and they started losing. The freaking Celtics started coming back. Like, are you kidding me? Like, I really started to think that I'm cursed. I swear, I told my wife this. I was like, babe, I really think I'm cursed. I really think anytime I really start paying attention to the game, these guys just start messing up and they start losing. But hey, maybe that's just me. Maybe that's just me being superstitious, But this game, if you ask me, felt a lot like the Philly game. Anthony Davis misses 2 free throws right at the end of the fourth quarter, has a chance in order to go in and bring him up by 2, and it just really started to seem like they exerted all their energy in that third quarter and part of that fourth quarter in order to build up in order to come back, build the lead a little bit, but then also just lose it towards the end of the fourth quarter. I don't know if it's like management of their time or just that maybe they're just tired because they had that long ass road trip, that 6-game road trip, and it's only one day that they had to rest, and now they're back at it, and they have to play against literally the best team in the NBA. And I was honestly surprised to go ahead and see that they ended up building up a lead at some point. I was like, damn, all right, we're legit, because I felt like, hey, we at least have a fighting chance against the Celtics, because we beat the Bucks. And it was a game where it was back and forth the entire game. But right towards the end, we found a way to win. That's what I was thinking was going to happen with this one. Like, yeah, maybe the Celtics were coming back, and I was thinking like, damn, something's going to happen. They're going to really try to find a way to go and win this damn game. But I was just really thinking, I'm like, hey, maybe they just have a little bit more energy, where they can pack in, 4 or 6 points and then just seal the damn game, right? But no, at the end of the game, they started really just settling for these 3-pointers or these shots that just I didn't understand, especially when you have I can't say much about Russ. Russ played really, really well. He tried his ass off. I mean, the dude ended up with 20 points, but 14 rebounds. You got AD 37, 14. LeBron almost damn near a triple double, 20 something, almost 30 points, 9 and 9. But it really just kind of came down to the other guys. I mean, even Austin Reeves, Lonnie Walker, Troy Brown. None, even Beverly. I mean, even though he was sinking some of those threes early on, which you really like to go in and see because he's been kind of struggling from the 3-point line, but he blew at least 2 big layups that could have for sure kind of helped out there, in my opinion, I couldn't help but to think, it'd be nice to go in and get Pat Bev and Kendrick Nunn and piece them up together to go ahead and get another piece, a good solid piece that can give us something on offense, because this team is good on defense, don't get me wrong. The Lakers are not bad on defense. They just got outclassed when it came down to their offense. I mean, Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown, dudes were knocking down threes. Dudes were knocking down their shots like it's nothing, and props to them and everything and all that. I hate to go and do it. I hate to give a Celtics props. But I mean, I've always kind of liked Jason Tatum. I've always liked Jaylen Brown. Jaylen Brown went to Cal State Berkeley. Jason Tatum is a big Kobe Bryant fan. He looked out all the time in order to go and be able to work out with him. So I hope one day that maybe Jason Tatum could actually become a Laker. But that's always been my one of the things that I always hope for. Maybe it might happen sometime down the line, but who knows? Maybe I'm hoping to maybe speak that into existence. But Jaylen Brown, one hell of a player as well. Marcus Smart, he ended up performing very, very well for them as well. But you also had some other players that stepped up big for them as well. And I think that was the big difference when it came down to it, guys. If you would have had just a little bit more of performance, or a little bit more from some of the other guys on the bench, besides Russ, even some of the guys on the that started, if you would have had a little bit more from some of these guys, if you would have had a big game maybe from Lonnie Walker, that things would have changed around. But it really just seemed like it was all Russ, AD, and LeBron. And I mean, you kind of expect that a little bit because these guys are getting paid the big bucks. They're the ones who are, getting paid all the money and all that. They're the big three and all that, But I don't know. It was just tough. It was a tough pill to swallow, in my opinion, guys. It really sucked, especially towards the end. You kind of started seeing it in the fourth quarter, in overtime. You started seeing it go away in the fourth quarter, but in overtime, you really saw how tired these guys were. I mean, shit, LeBron and AD played over 44 minutes. It's just ridiculous. I mean, especially after that long road trip and everything, and having to play an overtime game with the 76ers. But yeah, in my opinion, it just really felt like deja vu, and that just was that game all over again. But overall, it was a great game. Even with Lonnie Walker, and with Austin Reeves having some issues on the offense and everything. On the defensive side, everybody played a really great game. And I know maybe you might see like some of those plays and some of those some of the highlights and everything, and you might be like, did you even see the game, Richard? Like, they got scored on all the damn time. Yeah, you're right. But defense is a lot more than just blocks and steals and all that. I mean, don't get me wrong, those are the things that kind of stand out because they stand out on the stat sheet. But defense is more about being in the right place, beating your defender, or beating the guy that you're defending to the spot. Whatever spot he's trying to get to, whether if it's a sweet spot for a jumper, whatever the case is, or to get to the late, or to get closer to the basket, or whatever the case is, you need to make sure you stop that. Or you need to make sure that you're in the right spot in order to put a hand in his face if he's going to be pulling out for a jumper. Whatever the case is, you just need to make sure you're doing the right thing, or be at the right place. And most of the guys on the Lakers, like Lonnie Walker, like Austin Reeves, like Patrick Beverley, they all do this. They're all really great defenders. Lonnie Walker, when he came in, that was the first thing that he ended up saying. He said he was there to play defense, and I believe it, because the dude, he tries his ass off on defense. Don't get me wrong. It just sometimes they get beat by better guys, by better offense. And it is what it is. You can't really be mad at that, or you can't really want more or expect more from them or anything like that. You just have to tip your cap and just be like, hey, keep on doing what you're doing, because eventually things are gonna go right for you. And overall, I am waiting to go and see all that. It is one of the things, but it is one of the things that I'm waiting to go and see what's gonna happen. Overall with this trade deadline coming up. I believe it's coming up on Thursday, on the 15th. The trade window finally opens up, and then players who were signed over the offseason are finally eligible to be traded. So a lot of people are thinking that that's when maybe Kendrick Nunn and Patrick Beverley are going to be pieced up together to get another piece. Bojan Bogdanovic from the Pistons has been mentioned quite a bit. I honestly would love to go in and see him on the team, because this dude provides a certain kind of offensive power, firepower for the team. He could be an easy third scorer, guy who can come off of the bench, or he can start and be able to go in and provide a big punch for the Lakers. Be able to go in and have another guy who can get 20 points pretty damn easily, who knows basketball, has a really, really high basketball IQ. You're gonna miss a little bit on defense, especially if you go in and trade away Patrick Beverley. But in my opinion, I'd rather take the offensive ability of Bogdanovic and be okay with his lackluster defense, because the dude plays defense well enough, and we have enough defenders, or enough guys on the defensive side for the team that can kind of cover up a little bit of that, especially when you have a guy like Anthony Davis and LeBron James on your team. But we'll see what happens when it comes down to all that. There's been other guys like Kuzma, Kyle Kuzma, who's been thrown around. I would love to go to see Kuz back on the Lakers. Dude was, I think, in my opinion, very, very underappreciated. I really do miss him a lot. I really would like to want to see him back on the Lakers. I would definitely look into maybe getting a Kuzma jersey after that if he does come back. It's one of the things. I would think he was or underappreciated because dude was always willing to go and do the little things in order to go and commit to that win for the team, or he was always willing to go and just do whatever the team needed each and every day. And that's the kind of guy that we need right now. We need a guy that can kind of fit right there, who's a legit forward, who can guard a lot of these guys who are wing players, who can still provide a certain, offensive punch, and everything as well. But we'll see what happens when it comes out to all that. The Lakers do have a few days off until Friday when they're going up against the Denver Nuggets, if I'm not mistaken. We'll kind of do a little bit of a preview or something like that on Friday morning to kind of talk about the game. Depending on how things go, maybe I'll even do like a little post-game thing as well for Saturday morning. But that's pretty much going to do it about here. Again, Lakers end up going down 118 to 122 to the Celtics. Overall, really great game, guys. If you guys didn't watch it, definitely go and check it out. There's some really great spots in the game and everything overall. I know it might be a little bit difficult to watch it knowing the outcome of the game and all that, but definitely go ahead and check it out. You'll see some things. You'll learn a lot from the game. Honestly, if you're Laker fans, you'll learn a lot about the team and what we kind of need and what works as well for the team. But until next time, guys, I'll talk to you guys later on in the week. I'll talk to you guys most likely, like I said, on Friday. But take care until then, guys. Hope you guys enjoy the rest of your week, and I'll talk to you guys again on Friday. Peace.